Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. Taxes, deadlines. Well, there's one that we all know. It's April 15th. We know that we have to have our federal and state income tax returns filed and the money on its way. But there are other taxes that are a little less clear. As an example, do you know when your property tax is due? Aha. Well, that is going to be the topic of our show today. So, we are going to address relief from property tax and some of the legal ways that you can approach getting a little help if you're falling upon hard times or you're having some difficulty. That will be the subject of our panel discussion. But first, I think it's important to understand the process of property taxation, when the process begins, which county officials are involved, and how they all work together to help fund county and special service district operations. Here with that story is Derek Dowsett.
We can all agree that nobody enjoys taxes, the most unpopular being the property tax. Unlike other taxes that we pay, the property tax comes once a year, so you could end up getting tackled if you're not expecting it.
The clear advantage of the property tax is that it remains relatively stable. In other words, the local governments can't generate more income than what is required by the budget. If there is a proposed increase in taxes, the local government must go through a public hearing process known as truth in taxation. So, why does the property tax matter? The easy answer is it helps support the local school districts. In fact, about half of your property tax goes there. The other half is divvied up further among the counties, cities, and special service districts. The property tax matters because it is the primary source of funding for local governments. If you look at your valuation notice that you received recently from the county, you can see the different taxing entities within your community. The property tax pays for services such as public safety, roads, and health and human services within the community. In addition, there may be a special district, like mosquito abatement. All sorts of services that you likely take for granted.
Now, it's the counties that are in charge of collecting and distributing the tax to the other taxing entities.
Along the way, there is a system of checks and balances that ensures that the system is fair, equitable, and accurate. The whole system is based upon property. This includes our homes, businesses, and larger entities, such as utilities that span across multiple counties. The process began with the county surveyor's office, who established all the boundaries and property lines within the county. That record of property is then maintained by the recorder's office. When you buy a home, your ownership is recorded with the county recorder, and that parcel is used as the basis for what you will pay in taxes for the year. The assessor's office determines the fair market value of all real property within the county, and all of those values become part of the assessment roll. The budget for the county is set by the county commission or the council, and the other school districts, cities, etc. all establish their budgets, and that number, together with the valuation of all property within the county, is used to determine the tax rates. The tax rates are reported and reviewed by the county auditor, and they become part of the valuation and tax notice that you will receive in July. Your tax bill will arrive from the county treasurer's office in November, and that is where you will send your payment. The treasurer processes the tax payments and then distributes the money collected to each of the taxing entities.
And that's the property tax process in a nutshell. And while knowing what's coming isn't going to hurt any less, at least you'll be ready for that hit. For the county seat, I'm Derek Dowsett.
Well, now you've got a picture of the process for taxation and the obligation that property owners have to help fund counties. Let's talk about how they can get help if things aren't just working perfectly in their life. We'll be back with our panel and our discussion here on the County Seat right after this message.
Color. It's something that can be seen. But have you ever wanted to reach out and touch it? Experience it. In San Juan County, Utah, color comes to life like nowhere else on earth. Color can be more than an abstract. Color can be your gateway to a new world. Visit San Juan County and explore the past, present, and future in a way that you've only dreamed of. San Juan County. Color your experience.
There are a couple great things about the Uinta Basin. One is it's still small, it's community.
It makes you feel like when you go somewhere, you know everybody.
When you know your neighbor knows you, and you can trust each other. People look out for one another.
I grew up in the Uinta Basin, and I think that it's a good place to raise a family.
So we packed up our 3 kids, and here we came to Uinta County, and what a great place it was.
It's not too big, it's not too small.
And it has a lot to offer that you just don't get in the big city anymore.
Kanab, base camp for your southern Utah adventures. You belong in Kanab.
What would you do with an extra day in Utah Valley? Explore the Wasatch Mountains? Snap a family photo at Bridal Veil Falls. Cool off on Utah Lake or the Provo River. No matter what you're searching for, you can find it in Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are talking today about property tax relief. This is the time of year that if you are going to seek it, you need to do it. Joining us for our conversation is Angie Vise from the Collections Division of Salt Lake County. You're the person we don't want to have knocking on our door. Wayne Cushing, who is the Salt Lake County Treasurer, and Karla Johnson, who is the Clerk Auditor of Kane County. I guess we should probably start by saying, you know, people are at home going, oh, we're going to talk about all the special people, but every homeowner actually gets a break in Utah. Let's start the conversation with that.
Okay, I'm going to talk about that. Every person who has their home as their primary residence is entitled to what we call a primary residential credit, which is 45% of the total value of the home is abated.
So if you
exempt from tax.
So if you've got a business property, a commercial property, rental property, and your home property, that's what the big difference in the tax bill
That's
is.
correct. If you have a commercial property worth $100,000, you're going to pay tax on the whole $100,000. If your home is worth $100,000, you'll pay tax on $55,000. So that's the difference between the two.
In cases where there are people who are actually running into problems, let's turn our attention to what kind of relief is available and what kind of groups have the opportunity for some tax relief, because I know people get in a lot of trouble.
That's correct.
So let's talk about
There's
those.
actually 5 programs that we have for tax relief. The biggest one is for those that are retired. It's called Circuit Breaker. If you're over 66 years of age and older, and your income is less than $32,000, thereabouts, you can probably get some kind of tax relief on your property.
What kind of relief comes from somebody that doesn't fit into that age category and they've fallen into a situation that is a temporary, they've been unemployed for a period of time, they haven't been able to find work. Are they going to see their house go to the sheriff's sale in that first year, or what options do they have?
Oh, first of all, none of us deal with the sheriff's sale. That's our sheriff. It takes 5 years to end up on the tax sale. So a taxpayer has 5 years to rectify an issue or to get help. And the sooner if they have problems, the sooner they get with us, the easier it is for us to help them. And there is help for indigent, and if they have a disability, if they're under 66 and they have a disability or a hardship. And do you want to tell them?
Sure. Tell them about the hardship, Angie.
So with the hardship application, they can receive credit up to $939 of the property taxes that they would be subject to paying. And with that, they need to have the income and assets below the $31,702 but then they would submit a letter of the hardship that they have, telling us the circumstances and what they have done to try to overcome it so that we can step in and help.
Now, is that a letter process, or does that have a hearing involved with it as well? How does that usually work?
It's an application that's submitted with the letter, and then it is reviewed by the Property Tax Committee for approval.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense.
So the hardship is for somebody that has just a temporary issue. A lot of these other programs are something you can get every year.
Are there other special programs that are available to groups of people that are out there that may be able to get some property tax relief?
Well, there's one that's for the blind. If you're blind, you can get some tax relief. And then one of the more popular ones is for the veterans. If you're a veteran and you have a disability related to your service, you can get some tax relief, and actually some fairly significant relief for them.
And is there a deployment credit or anything? I mean, what hits in the back of my mind is that we've got somebody that has been gone for half a year on deployment. Is there some kind of program?
If you remember right, just a couple of years ago, the legislature passed what is called the active duty relief, and that is for somebody who is on active duty out of the state and been on active duty for 200 days of that calendar year. Mm-hmm. They actually qualify for some significant relief on their property taxes in the next year.
Have you seen any of that in Kane County?
We had one that was deployed that would have qualified, and they rented their home to someone else during that time period, so it didn't qualify. It would have had they not rented it.
Oh.
We had 17 applicants that qualified in 2014.
Wow. I would almost think that would be a larger number. Of course, it sits in the back of my mind, if Weber County were here, what would they say about it? Because they probably have quite a few.
Well, and that's actually why we like to talk about the tax relief programs, is to make sure that those who qualify actually know about it. Our biggest fear, there's somebody out there that are struggling or have issues, and they qualify for a property tax relief, but they don't know about it. So it's our efforts, and that's what we've been doing in the past, is trying to get that word out.
Very good.
I find a lot of the senior citizens are a little hesitant to ask for relief. They're very independent, and they like to take care of themselves. So you really have to keep an eye out for them. You do the same thing we do, visiting the senior centers and talking to people and asking people to watch out for a neighbor that might need help.
Why do we actually have tax relief? I mean, there's some of the guy that sits there and pays his property tax and grumbles year after year after year, and of course we hope that by watching the show they learn why they're paying the taxes and not to grumble. But then it says, well, why should that guy next door get a break? Right. Why do we do it?
I think every one of these property tax programs is for somebody that's having a hardship. When we talk about the elderly, they've been paying property tax for years and years and years on a home that they paid a lot less than what the value is now. And so their incomes might be staying the same, but their property taxes, unfortunately, might inch up over the years. And now they're on a fixed income. Those are the ones that we think probably deserve it more than anybody, is somebody that's been paying property tax their whole life and now are at a point where they're on a fixed income.
Now, is that a sliding scale? In other words,
right.
Some people may not be as resource poor and they're able to contribute some.
It is a sliding scale based on the income, so it breaks down the amount of relief that they receive. It can go from $115 to $939 of the taxes.
And so in a situation, I look at my property tax bill, it's a couple of grand, so that, I don't live in a huge house, so that would be almost 50% relief in a case like that.
Right, and we do have many applicants that will file for more than one program, and they could end up with relatively no tax bill at all.
I just realized that when I said that, Wayne had already figured out what my house is worth.
Yes.
So when somebody comes in, I mean, do you just, is it an online process to start, or do you get a lot of people come through the door looking for relief and you point them in the right direction?
Ours are more directly in person in the office, and we help them. A lot of them need help filling out the forms. They need help understanding what they need to bring in to document we really have to be careful and document everything so that we answer to all of the taxpayers, and no one likes to pay theirs and give it to everyone else without some real strong documentation to support their case. So we help them with that.
We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we are going to address the process by which the counties are being proactive in trying to help people get the relief that may be due to them. We'll be right back with the county seat.
Davis County is the amusement capital of Utah, where people of all ages can enjoy fun rides and family attractions all year long. Experience over 50 thrilling rides at lagoons, bowling or miniature golf at Boondocks, cool off with the family at Cherry Hill, or get out of the house and over to the Rush Fun Place. There's no end to the fun you can have in Davis County. Come to eat, stay, and play. Plan your next visit by going to playindavis.com and discover the fun for yourself.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
Bring the family to Lake Town, Utah, August 21st through the 23rd, and step back into the 1800s for an authentic mountain man rendezvous featuring pre-1840 mountain man traders, Native American dancers, craftsman demonstrations, black powder shooting, and more. Join us at the actual site where mountain men gathered over 175 years ago to trade for supplies and prove their abilities through competition. The Bear Lake Rendezvous. Find out more at bearlakerendezvous.com.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are talking today about property tax relief. There's a window of time from the time you get your tax bill that is available for you to challenge your valuation and apply for relief, and we are in that window. When does that window end?
September 15th.
September 15th.
Is when the appeals need to be submitted to our Board of Equalization.
Okay, and that's the function of the Board of Equalization, is to look at those things.
But for tax relief, it's September 1. So that's why we always push in August to try to make sure we got the word out to everybody.
It seems like the counties are making an effort, particularly Salt Lake County is doing a pretty aggressive job of doing some outreach to try and help people become aware of the programs. Can you guys address that, what your counties are doing and how it looks different between urban and rural?
I think we're all throughout the state trying to find those who qualify for tax relief. In our county, we found out that there's a lot of charitable organizations that deal with the same people that we're dealing with on relief. And so we've actually tried to meet with them and coordinate our efforts so that when we meet with them, we'll tell them about their programs. When they meet with the constituents, they'll tell them about our program. For example, the HEAT program that deals with people who have trouble paying their power bill, the VITA program, which helps people do their tax returns, and then obviously all the senior centers throughout the counties. Those are the people that we need to get to and talk to, make sure they understand the program and whether they qualify or not.
Now the dynamics in Kane County would probably be a little different.
A lot the same. We visit the same people. One of the things that we do is I go and talk to the American Legion once a year, and then I work with their service representative for the veterans. That's an area that gets missed a lot, is the veterans. They have to be disabled, and oftentimes they have a difficult time understanding that they have help, and so we work with them.
You know, I look at this and go that there would be a lot of organizations, particularly when collection of money's involved, that might have programs, but they don't want to tell anybody about it. And you guys are aggressively trying to say, hey, check it, there's a deal here.
Exactly. Well, I think we all know somebody or have met somebody that deserves some tax relief and they didn't know about it, and then maybe for years and years and years they haven't applied, and you think, you know, if they would only known about this 5 years ago, there's some significant savings they would have had.
So let me ask that question. If there's somebody that is eligible, they don't know about it, or they are resistant to come in, is there, what can it, like a neighbor, like what can I do to try and help that process along?
Yeah, we try to get the word out to the neighbors and also to the children of the elderly. Basically, look at your parents or your mom's tax return, determine whether they qualify, or if as a neighbor. What we've found out is once somebody uses it and it works for them, if they'll mention it to their neighbors, and we have a lot of actually people come in through referrals.
We also have our applications available online, so if it's a neighbor that knows that someone's struggling, they could go on and get that and suggest the program to the neighbor.
Okay, and this is a little different in counties. Who do they contact? Like for Kane County, it would be in your office?
The county auditor. The treasurer also helps and directs people over to me. The treasurer in our county, when the people come in to pay taxes, she watches. If they're real nervous or have a lot of anxiety, she'll mention to me, and then we'll visit with them together, and sometimes we'll even go to their home and explain the program where they're relaxed and at ease so they can understand it. If we know somebody who's had a lot of medical issues, we'll meet with them, because now we can use medical for hardship. There's a lot of different things. It's such a privilege to work in a small county because we know people, so it's easier for us to work with people.
If that person lived in Tickaboo, that'd be quite a drive for you to go to their house.
That's true. But you know, we watch the obituaries. We know if there's a widow or a widower that's struggling. So there's a lot of resources that we have in small counties that perhaps you in the larger counties don't have that access to.
Great.
So, love working in a small county.
Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a wrap-up and any advice we have from our tax experts here on what you should do and how to get into the process. We'll be right back with the County Seat.
The weekends just never feel like they're long enough. By the time you get to a destination, you're worn out and you may need a vacation to recover from your last vacation. The solution is closer than you think, and that's just what you need. You can find the desert at Little Sahara, the cool refreshment of Yuba Lake, escape to the green of the forest on the Nebo Loop. Join us September 12th for the Camp Yuba Triathlon. Sign up online. Make your escape to Juab County. It'll change your family forever.
When you buy Utah made and grown.
I'm a Utah's own vegetable grower. I care about the foods I produce.
Because when it comes to quality local foods, I understand the importance of Utah grown and raised.
The jobs that we enjoy are vital because Utah's Own supports our communities. As a consumer, I look for Utah's Own products because Utah's Own is good for me and it's good for Utah.
Keeping it here at home, Utah's Own.
If you're looking for the center of the universe, good luck. But if you are looking for the center of the off-road universe, look no farther than Paiute County. Hundreds of miles of trails turn your day of riding into a week, a month, heck, a lifetime wouldn't be enough. Explore one of the most famous trail systems in the world, the Paiute Trail. Go rafting on the Sevier River or go boating and fishing at Otter Creek and Paiute Reservoir. Explore Paiute County and discover the magic and beauty of the land where the rainbow ends.
Sevier County is perfect. The brand new fairgrounds facility includes a large meeting hall, breakout rooms, and a perfect kitchen facility to feed just a few or hundreds. The county also boasts the Sevier Valley Center on the campus of Snow College Richfield. This facility includes an arena and numerous breakout rooms that can be used for any type of meeting, conference, or event. When planning your next meeting or conference, consider placing it in the center of it all, Sevier County.
Welcome back to the County Seat. We have been spending the half hour in a very good conversation talking about property tax relief of all kinds. Final thoughts and clarifications, because you know I get overzealous about property taxes.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah, so in Salt Lake County, there are 2 deadlines that we're looking at. One is September 15th, and that is if you're going to appeal the value of your property. That actually goes through the tax administration part of the county council, and the council actually reviews that. As far as what we're really pushing today is for tax relief, and the deadline for that is September 1. And that can be done in our office, or you can get the form online and fill that out.
Okay, and with the information for that,
we'll be on, all the counties,
and you can find it on the website.
That's right.
Under treasurer on yours?
Yes.
Okay,
Under
Karla.
auditor on ours. The majority of Utah counties, the auditor handles the abatements and also handles the Board of Equalization, which is the appeals. So both of those come into the auditor's office. And at this point in time in the year, if you look at your disclosure notice and see that you're not a primary resident and you've lived here all year, you need to file an appeal for primary residential as well. So that would come into the auditor's office at this point in time too.
Okay, and that deadline's the 1st?
That deadline for that is the 15th of September for appeals. It actually is in March, I believe, in the assessor's office, and that's where you normally take care of that. But at this point in time, it would go through the Board of Equalization.
Okay, very good. Any other thoughts that we've missed so far in this conversation?
Angie?
We just want to help as many people as we can with the tax relief program, so I'd like to get the word out to those individuals that might not be aware of what we have available.
And we're going to continue to visit some of the senior centers throughout the month, just to make sure. We've done it throughout the year this year, instead of trying to push it all into August. Now this year we're going to continue to meet at a couple more senior centers, and they'll be able to find that also on our website.
You know, I think we should come up with a calendar that people can hang in the kitchen, and you know, with the 4th of July, we can put down some of these deadlines that come up and a little explanation. So maybe we should have like a tax holiday for property tax.
We do, yeah.
List it.
I mean, everybody knows April 15th is when they need to get their income tax in. Not a lot of people know some of these other deadlines, and so we try to get those out and push those.
I think one other thing I'd like to bring up is if people are having trouble with their taxes, let us know and contact the county as soon as possible, because in that 5-year window that you have to rectify anything, the sooner they come to us, the easier it is for us to find help for them. So if they are proactive and say, ooh, I'm having trouble, I need to go now, that's the very best way for them. Not wait till the 5 years is up and then say, now what can you do for me?
It's okay to ask for help, in other words.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in other words, we're here to help.
All right, very good. Thank you for the help that the panel has given us today. Thank you for allowing us into your home. We thank your participation in the county seat. Remember to tell your friends about it, and we'll see you next week on the county seat. Remember, local government is where your life happens. Be part of the solution. See you next week. If you like this video, then we invite you to subscribe to our channel, The County Seat. You can do that here. And we invite you to share with your friends. We also invite you to get all the latest up-to-date information by following us on our social media channels. And if all else fails, make sure that you watch The County Seat Sunday morning at 8:30 right here on ABC4.